Goldberg. 2003 was a dodgy year for Vince's hut of chuckles, knuckles, and buckles. In the state of only a few months, their main event scene was hit with a plague. Austin was gone, The Rock was gone, Hogan was gone. On the other hand, Goldberg was knocking about. That was nice. For a bit, and then it was a bit rubbish, as is tradition with WWE Goldberg. SummerSlam 2003 had some great matches, with Angle versus Lesnar being one of the better title matches in the history of the event, but by the time the Chamber match had ended, there was an overall sense that something was amiss in the WWE universe. I'm Plumpy from WhatCulture.com, and here are 10 fascinating facts about SummerSlam 2003. Number 10, under half the wrestlers performed at SummerSlam 2002. Last list, we talked about how one of the reasons why SummerSlam 2002 was so good was that it had one of the best rosters of any pay-per-view ever. The 2003 show was considerably less star-studded. Half the wrestlers from 2002 were absent due to injuries, Booker T and Edge, healthy scratches, Christian, Lance Storm, Goldust, Test, working elsewhere on the show, Rey Mysterio on the pre-show, Ric Flair as a manager, or they just had better things to do, The Rock. This year did see some stars that missed last year's show, like Goldberg, not in WWE, and Kane returning from an injury in late August 2002, but also saw La Resistance, A-Train, and my dad Eric Bischoff all wrestling matches. It's a weird show. Number 9, injuries prevented a Christian Booker T match. At an otherwise innocuous house show in Des Moines on August 10th, Christian defeated Booker T to win his third Intercontinental Championship. Switches like this, see also AJ Styles defeating Kevin Owens, have been rare this millennium, but are occasionally necessary. Sometimes a house show title change is done to boost business, other times more serious factors are in play. Booker had been suffering from serious back injuries, which were reportedly exacerbated by the long flights to and from Australia for a tour the previous week. Booker needed to get off the road as soon as possible, and a switch was done at the house show in order to keep the belt in circulation. As the feud between the two men had been running since May, there was an Intercontinental title match between Booker T and Christian planned for SummerSlam. Booker T's injury, however, put the kibosh on that, and the IC title wasn't defended on the show. Number 8, Ultimo Dragon nearly challenged for the Cruiserweight title. In the spring of 2003, legendary junior heavyweight Ultimo Dragon surfaced in WWE. Dragon was still somewhere in the vicinity of his prime, so working with the likes of Jamie Noble, Billy Kidman, Tajiri, and Rey Mysterio had potential to create some amazing matchups. In fact, Brian Alvarez of Figure 4 Weekly noted that a Mysterio Dragon Cruiserweight title match was in the cards for SummerSlam. WWE officials, upon hiring Dragon, were expecting him to be another Mysterio, but by comparison, according to WWE officials, he didn't quite have the same sizzle, and the company soured on him quickly, relegating him deep into the mid-card. Number 7, Kurt Angle worked through a severe hamstring injury. Kurt Angle works through pain that would fell a mere mortal or just another Sunday to you and me. It should come as no surprise that Angle possesses the inhuman resolve to push himself through most pain barriers, and SummerSlam 2003 was no exception. In his WWE Championship match with Brock Lesnar, exactly the guy you want to work with when you're hurt, Angle wrestled with a torn hamstring. According to Angle, one of the main muscles attached to the bone was ripped off during a match on WWE's Tour of Japan that July. Angle claimed in an interview around SummerSlam that he rehabbed the other two primary muscles in order to compensate for the torn one. You're a lunatic, Kurt. Number 6, Brock insisted on tapping out. It was a bit surprising at SummerSlam 2003 to see a re-established heel Lesnar submit to Angle's ankle lock. I mean, it shouldn't be surprising to see anyone tap clean to a wrestling cyborg like Angle, but the fact that Lesnar, a giant box full of serial killers, was the one slapping the canvas, still shocked. Weeks after the show, Angle did a Q&A session at the University of Pennsylvania where he discussed the SummerSlam match. Angle said that Lesnar wanted to lose via submission in order to flesh out his heel turn more and show a hint of weakness. Angle added that Lesnar was actually supposed to win the title at SummerSlam, but turned it down in order to work on the new heel nuances. Lesnar would win the belt instead in mid-September on SmackDown, felling Angle in an Iron Man match, aka the best WWE match of all time, Fight Me. Number 5, Goldberg was meant to win the title. In the spring of 2003, Bill Goldberg signed a one-year deal with WWE, so the company had to get busy living or get goodbye Goldberg. After dispatching The Rock and Chris Jericho in brief rivalries, Goldberg entered into a feud with Triple H for the World Heavyweight Championship. SummerSlam looked to be the show where Goldberg would continue his undefeated streak, vanquish the non-bearded, chubby-faced Trips, and leave with the strap. However, WWE instead went with an Elimination Chamber match, adding Jericho, Shawn Michaels, Kevin Nash, and a very young Randy Orton to the fray. Goldberg looked dominant in the course of making 3 eliminations, but would then be pinned in one of the shittest finishes to a pay-per-view ever. Instead, the title change was held off for another month. Why? Here's why. Number 4, Triple H worked through a severe groin injury. For more than 3 weeks before the pay-per-view, Triple H abstained from in-ring performances owing to a painful groin injury suffered in mid-July. The plan was always for Goldberg to be the one to end Helmsley's reign, but WWE wanted the title change to mean something and for it to be a one-on-one match. The injury prevented Triple H from doing much of anything physical, and the chamber match was constructed as a way to disguise his limitations. What could not be disguised were the hideous bicycle shorts that Triple H wore in this time frame, likely serving as additional protection to his banged-up flesh box. Helmsley did about 90 seconds of work after his pod opened and even got to play dead for a spell when Michaels super kicked him right as he entered. His interaction with Goldberg was brief owing to his agonized state, and the blow-off was postponed until September. Number 3, it was Kevin Nash's last appearance for 7 years. Fans nearly came when it was announced that the original New World Order trio was returning to the company in 2002. That elation didn't last. Hall was fired less than 4 months after his return due to substance issues, whilst Hogan's run was more fruitful, kicking off the nostalgia wave that is still somewhat felt today. By the time Hogan was let go in June 2003, Nash was the last man standing, ironic for a man whose legs are prone to explode. Nash's world title feud with Triple H was poorly received, and August 2003 would see only 2 notable appearances before Big Kev's official exit in January 2004. First, he lost his hair to Chris Jericho in a match on Raw, and then Nash lasted barely 2 minutes in the chamber before being eliminated. Nash would not resurface in WWE until the 2011 Royal Rumble. Number 2, the entire crew celebrated Vince's birthday post-show. Well, this is nice. It just so happened that SummerSlam 2003 fell on Vince's 58th birthday, and the entire roster and crew hit the ring to celebrate the scary, scary billionaire's birth. Some of the highlights of the shindig included Austin and Undertaker making Vince admit his actual age for the record, Vince making an aggressive vow to outlive each and everyone in attendance, which I personally believe he could do, and Vince trying to coax Undertaker into doing a spin-a-rooney. Taker didn't oblige, but Big Show did, to the amusement of all, back when WWE was truly fun. And number 1, it did the worst SummerSlam buy rate in 6 years. 2003 wasn't a banner year for WWE. The television shows had declined in quality and their ratings began to go with it. Pay-per-view buy rates followed that pattern, with SummerSlam 2003 down 14% from 2002. It was the first SummerSlam to fall beneath 500,000 buys since 1997. While it's true that SummerSlam buys had declined every year from the record 700,000 in 1998, it turns out later events would outclass the 2003 show as well. The 2005 to 2007 editions all did more than 500,000 buys, which further illustrates how 2003 was something of a WWE dead zone. And that's our list. Did we miss any out? Tell us about it in the comments, and don't forget to like, share and subscribe. I'm Plumpy from WhatCulture.com, and I'll see you soon.